Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Camera. Here we are with episode 129 of Behind the Camera. As always, before we get into today's show, if you would like to support the podcast, you can follow me on social media using the link in the description, which will take you to all platforms, and also includes the link to my book, Behind the Camera, The Journey So Far, which you can get in paperback, ebook, and for free on Kindle Unlimited. But now, getting into today's episode. So we've had a little bit of a different episode today. I don't have a guest for you today. I don't really even have a topic, if I'm going to be totally honest. I just wanted to take this episode to check in with the listeners, check in with myself, just have a bit of a mental health break, because my mental health has not been fantastic the last while. And I think that it's taken for things to quieten down in my life for me to kind of really acknowledge and realize this and be able to really articulate it. Because I've had the busiest summer probably of my entire life. It's been outside of, working my 9 to 5. I moved house. My wife and I bought our dream home, which has been amazing. And in terms of podcasting, I've had the busiest summer of my entire life. Like, I couldn't even tell you how many recordings that I've done, but I'm pretty much, in terms of what I have recorded, I'm pretty much up to November now with scheduled episodes. And even further with what I have scheduled that's not recorded, we're pretty much looking towards the end of the year at this point. Now, some might say that's a very good problem to have. And I would agree. I would 100% agree that it's a fantastic problem to have. But in the true spirit of Behind the Camera, I like to show you guys I'd like to show you guys what it's like behind the curtain, behind the camera, under the hood, whatever way you want to put it. I like to show you guys all this because I've said this a lot on recent episodes, and it's just so relevant. But as consumers, we only ever see the final product. So I like to show you guys what really truly goes into it and what the mentality behind it can really be like. The amount I've done, with everything kind of else going on at the same time, like, I think I've just burnt myself out. And burnout's a really weird thing because I've always found that I might feel burnt out, but then I take like a day to myself, and then the next day I'm fine. But then I get burned out really quickly again, and then I'm kind of like, oh, why am I falling into this cycle? And it's like, because, well, you're not looking after yourself properly. You're acknowledging things. Yeah, great. But you're not doing anything about it. You may think you are, but you're not. You need to treat burnout like anything else. You need to give yourself the proper rest. You need to give yourself a longer than just a day. And sometimes you might think, well, I can't do that. You can adapt. You can adjust. There are things you can do. Like, if you record a podcast every day, you can still do that, but you just have to kind of scale back certain things. You need to kind of set boundaries with yourself at times because nobody else will do it for you. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And it's taken me to having 2 weeks off at this point. After this episode comes out, I have like 2 weeks before my next recording. I'm excited about it because I don't have to do anything. Like, I just have to do my normal admin work, and that's great. I always miss recordings when I have a recording break, but when you kind of get into the thick of it, you realize how much it takes out of you. And like, it's always good. It is always good, but without the proper care, everything else kind of suffers. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I'm burnt out, but being this burnt out, being this exhausted and tired, I've really kind of uncovered a lot of other things that just doesn't feel right now. I I feel so irritable. I feel so anxious. I feel like angry and hateful over nothing. The silliest things are getting to me. And that's not the person I am. That's not the person I am. It's not the person that I want people to know me as. It's not the reputation I want to have. I just, I don't know. I just know it's not me. I just know that that is not me. And I just want to be honest and upfront about it because I don't want I don't want my show to suffer. I don't want I don't want it to go the same way that it did with live streaming for me. Now, for those who don't know, the reason that live streaming never really worked out for me was because people started to really see that my heart wasn't in it anymore. People went away. People kind of put me to the side and just really pretended. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. We've talked about this before. I talk about it in the book and everything. But I don't want the podcast to go that way. And I kind of think I've been kind of worried about that because August itself has been a horrible month in terms of the metrics and analytics. And I know it's important to not really get too bogged down with the numbers, but it is important to check them. It's very important to kind of to look at the trends and everything like that. Now, I've always kind of said as long as the number is going up, you're doing something right. And yes, every day the number is still going up, but it's like the speed at which it's going up has changed. And rather than looking at it logically, I just started to blame myself. I've just started to compare it to what those last few months of streaming were like and think, well, it's because of me. Well, I've done something. Nobody's interested anymore. The novelty's died. And like, what a stupid fucking self-sabotaging attitude to have. It is honestly, I feel so fucking stupid even just saying this right now. Because I know it's not me. All it takes is just to really do a little bit more research and realize that August might not be a good month for podcasts in general. So why do I just go and blame myself? Why do I go and just become this self-fulfilling prophecy where if eventually I do have to close the doors on this once and for all, then I'll just sit and tell myself I told you so. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So why am I like trying to make that become a reality? I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe I've always been wired that way to the point where I'm just like, well, yeah, like it's like a matter of my self-worth being so low that I don't feel like I deserve to even consider anything that I'm doing to be an achievement. And when you say it out loud, it's like, and you kind of realize like, fuck, that's no way to live. That is just no way to live. I I don't know why. I don't know why I have this kind of mindset right now because I just thought I was burnt out. I really just thought I was burnt out, but it's just uncovered so many other things. But I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm really trying to improve things. I'm really trying to make myself be better, not just feel better. I've always kind of chased the loop of feeling better in certain situations and then leaning into the things that have made me feel better in particular moments. But that's probably one of the more destructive things that you can do because you can't just feel better, you have to be better. You just have to. And that's something that I've learned recently, and it's just it'll always stick with me because it's something that I it's one of those things where when you hear it, you hear somebody else say it, it just clicks and you're like, oh my God, yes, that's so true. That is so true. I'm kind of like that. And I've been tracking habits as well. Another thing, I've been tracking daily habits, um, which is not something that I've ever really kind of done, but I'm very thankful for the guys at Next Level University for kind of encouraging that. It's something that's been very, very beneficial for me, because I'm a firm believer in accountability, and I want this I want this episode to like be my accountability for the way I'm feeling, for really acknowledging the way I'm feeling, for like the way I've acted, like things I might have said and done just because of where my head's at. And by no means am I trying to hide behind my mindset as an excuse for being a shitty person, because that's not this what I just don't operate that way. I just don't operate that way. If I feel like I've been a shitty person, then I feel like I need to acknowledge and own up to that. Because it's something I kind of live with on a daily basis. And I say all this, and this is by no means me looking for that kind of validation, because the only person, who can convince me otherwise is myself. Because that's where it kind of all needs to come from. It needs to come from a shift in mindset. I need to really believe in myself again. I need to really understand my worth. There's so many things I need to do. And now that I've kind of had time to really articulate everything in my head, I want this to be a good starting point. I want to be able to come back to this episode and just think, yeah, you've got it all out there. So fucking do something about it. Because ultimately that's how it all starts. That's how it all starts. Like, if you want to form a new habit, if you want to do something to, get better, you have to just do it. It is as simple as that. Of course, there's help. There's help there to assist you, to help guide you, to be there with you while you do these things, whether you want to start the gym, but you don't want to go by yourself. So you have somebody come with you. Like that's great. But if you don't have that, you'll just sit on your sofa regretting the fact that you didn't go. I still do this on a daily basis, and I think maybe things like that, there are times that I've like made excuses and used my mindset as an excuse, but that's kind of all it'll ever be, is an excuse. And I hope that what I'm saying does resonate with people listening. And I know it's really just been like a big rant in terms of how I feel right now. And whether it makes sense or not, I don't know, because I kind of feel like my head's a whole big spider web right now, because I'm having one thought, then it's kind of going over to another thought, and it's just becoming a whole big mess. But I would hope that that's testament to where my mindset is. But I think things are starting to become a little clear to me, and I'm glad to have this break. I'm glad to have this break right now, because there's like things that I'm kind of looking forward to doing at my own pace, whilst also still maintaining the show. And I want to deliver the best possible show that I can. Like I want my podcast to be memorable for people. I want people to think, here, Andy's podcast is pretty fucking good. I want that. And I want like everybody who comes onto the show, I want them to remember the conversations that we have fondly. But in order for me to do all of those things, I need to be better. I need to just be fucking better. I'm not trying to shit on myself by any means. I'm not trying to say that I'm a terrible person. I'm not trying to say that, I've done anything wrong, but I I know where my head's at right now. And I know that I need to just do something about it, because I know for a fact the last couple of days I've just kind of sat there feeling sorry for myself, and the things that I've had to do, of course, I've done, and they've been nice distractions, but that's all they are. It's just distractions. Now, can distractions be good? Yes, of course they can. Distractions can be very good. Distractions can sometimes be the difference between you taking that first step into doing something and not. Like I can tell you from firsthand experience that I've had particular distractions in the past, and I've been like, well, do you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this, and I feel that kind of confidence to do this, and then the after effects are just amazing. You get that buzz from doing something, to like taking that first step towards like a goal that you might have, or whatever it may be. Like the best example I can give on a personal level is like my fitness. I've been trying to lose a lot of weight lately, and I could say it's miserable, but I feel like that's the only thing that like my mindset is like fairly in tune for, in terms of mindfulness and accountability, which is good. It's definitely good, especially for me and how the last couple of years have been for me personally. On that front, I mean, everything else has been pretty fucking sweet, but so I know that I'm going in the right direction in some ways. I know that I am, but in other ways, I don't really feel like I've shown that proper level of accountability that I would like to, where I've just kind of sat and just been like, well, I feel this way. Are things going to get better? But not actively really kind of trying to make them better. On Monday, the 24th, I had my last recording for a couple of weeks, like I've mentioned. And that was amazing. I'm excited for that episode to drop. But like I said, it was my last episode until pretty well into September. And that's honestly been a big, big weight off my shoulders, for sure. I love recording. I love my guests. I love everything about it. But I think I've certainly needed it. I've needed this break. I I know there's things I need to do. I need to I need to go touch some fucking grass. It's probably that might be one of the more important things that I can do. But what I would hope for, and if I don't achieve this, I feel like I'll have failed, and I don't want this to be for nothing. I don't want me saying all this to be for nothing. But if in 2 weeks' time I haven't gotten this a little bit better, I'll feel like I've failed big time. I don't want to feel that way. It's not a good feeling. I have all these things in my head that I want to do, and I know I'll never get to them all, but that is also an important lesson that I've learned, is that you can't do too much all at once. And I feel like I've done that on so many fronts and just never really learned. It just kind of sometimes it takes you to dark places to really realize that maybe you are doing too much in one go, and that the output isn't going to be what you want it to be. Um, the output might never be what you ever want it to be, but you kind of have to learn to adapt to that. You kind of have to learn to just live with that and be patient and persevere, because like we are human. We want our output to match our input, but you also have to really kind of monitor the amount of input going into these things, because you might think that you're giving it your all, but the output might not necessarily show that. And it's a hard lesson to learn. It is a hard lesson to learn, like the output of things. Like I say, if you give it your all, that might be your all just in that moment, because of how you might feel how you might feel at a particular time. Your all then is not your 100%. It's not your full potential. It's relative to circumstance. And you know, maybe I need to be easier on myself. Maybe I just need to stop being so hard on myself. Maybe I just need to continue what I'm doing. It's like I say, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I just think I'm maybe taking on too much in my own head. And yeah, like maybe I'm going in circles here, but that's when I start to talk about these sorts of things and I get into a kind of flow. It's like almost as if I'm uncovering new things as I'm saying it. Like I don't have a script in front of me. I don't have any bullet points in front of me. I'm just talking. I'm just telling everybody who's listening how things really are right now and where I want them to go. But the only way I'll get there is if I am proactive about it, if I take initiative, and if I just take that accountability. And like I said before, as long as I just fucking do it. Hopefully, for those of you who are listening, hopefully you've been able to find something to take from this episode. I think I can safely say I'm really doing this episode more for me, more for my own personal journey, and this is my accountability. This is me taking ownership for how I feel and actually doing something about it. And maybe in the near future we'll catch up on this. We'll maybe do like a part 2 to this particular episode. Do like a then and now, and hopefully I have a lot more nicer things to report on. Hopefully I can tell you about all the good things that have happened, because like there have been plenty of good things. I just don't think I'm letting myself enjoy them as much as I really should. But there's probably a lot more to unpack on that. But I don't think we really have the time, unfortunately. But thank you for everybody for listening. I hope that there is something that you can get out of this episode. I hope that if you are going through something yourself and you don't feel like you can talk about it, that you do have a voice and people want to hear your voice. It's not right to suffer in silence. Nobody wants anybody to suffer in silence. There's always somebody out there who you can talk to. And if you don't feel like there is, you can always just sit in front of a microphone and speak your feelings, talk about everything that's going on. And once you get it off your chest, you never know, you might feel like a little bit better. Like it might not necessarily fix your problems, but once you start to talk about it, you can start to articulate things and you can just really analyze everything and start to understand a little bit better what it is that might be causing you this pain. And most importantly, what it is that you can do about it. What's that first step you can do about it? Now, will you go from A to Z immediately? No. You just take the first step. You might stay at the first step for a little bit of time, but you've just got to push on through. You have to stay persistent. You have to persevere through these times. But like I say, it all starts with you. But once again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you again soon. Peace.